Hey guys, welcome back. I apologize for not being in front of the camera again. Camera lady's off doing her thing and I'm here doing mine. As you can see, my Bachmann GP35 is kind of not quite doing the loop, but running around, which is great. I have finally hooked up my mainline terminal blocks, so we have power. And I'm just testing with the GP35 because it's by far my worst locomotive by a ton in both pickup quality for electronics, motor control, for engine buzz, you know, pretty much all around. It's my worst locomotive. So I'm just testing with that. Basically, it's just gonna get here. I watched my old video at one point and I realized how much I said and I really apologize for that. I don't plan on what I'm gonna say, and the worst part about this is I've tried making 2 videos and gotten interrupted in the middle of both, so this is my 3rd take and I really forget what I want to talk about. No, I don't forget, but I lose track, so I'm just gonna try to go over everything as best I can, and I'll make another update really soon, because when I finish the bridge, then I can make a full loop and I can do, you know, sound. Oh, I can do the sound reviews now, I guess, but I want to get this done. So what happens, I'm going to show you how we wire it. So let me just get under here. I'm trying to work on my camera shakiness, camera flipping around, so people don't get nauseous. So please let me know what you guys think, because I know that is a problem. I know I get excited, I get, you know, I'm waving it around. I don't want you guys to not feel good or have to stop watching. So please let me know if this is okay, or if I even have to continue to slow down, because I will do that. That's no problem. Alright, so you can see the input of my feeders come into the left in this case. Just I've got them feeding 2 separate blocks. Now, my feeder wires going to the track come off the secondary blocks, and then my bus line continues out these primary ones. So these obviously don't have a bus line output at this point, but when they do, you will see kind of wires coming out of these 2 empty blocks. Right now, what I'm planning on doing is sorting my main line, my yard, and my branch line all in separate blocks, which is why I only have 4. What I initially did when I had my 4x8 is pretty much everywhere where I had a switch machine, I had a large block of 12, which I used for power feeders, bus lines, as well as the tortoise switch machine contacts. Well, the problem with that is you can only go so far with the feeder wires, because they're only about 10 inches to a foot depending on how I cut them, and I didn't have a lot of room to work around with the tortoise. So this time I decided to do this. This way I can also block everything at the Digitrax, and when troubleshooting I can disconnect the main line or the branch line or the yard, and later on I can actually put circuit breakers on each connection to have them separate. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do, just to make things a lot better, that I can monitor things. So that's pretty much where we're at for wiring. What I'm pretty much gonna do is, you can see I've got my trailer plugs here. They're set up to terminal strips, not yet connected. They're gonna be part of that bus line. They're a little hard to get apart, I find. I may have to squeeze the pins just a little bit to make it easier, but what I've been doing is, now I can't get that together with one hand, can I? No. What I've been doing is, when I do plug them in, I leave them like this. I don't actually plug them in all the way, because they are quite hard. Well, they are quite hard when they're all the way, but when they're like that, I can just kind of flick them apart with one hand even, so 2 hands, not a problem. Now, I'll never get them. Oh, see there, that one's not too bad. I think I tried squeezing that one. Maybe I'll have to do the same one. Anyways, so once that's done, you can see that I've insulated the inside rail on this right side and the outside rail with a plastic rail joiner on the outside on the left side, so that when I plug in, full connectivity will go through each piece of this of the main track, as well as this turnout, so that I do have kind of a fail-safe if something kind of runs around the corner and the lift out's not in. Projects. Okay, so something I wanted to mention. I've been working on the history of the Cordova Valley, which is what I'm modeling. It's a fictional location in Ontario, loosely based off the Ottawa Valley, which I lived in, but I can it gives me a chance to do my own landmarks and towns and whatnot. You've already kind of seen the track plan for it. So basically, I'm not going to quite post the history yet. I only have about 2 pages. I kind of keep picking away at it. But basically, location-wise, I've got Dwayne's Pass, which is going to be this area here. Cordova Yard, Cecilville, kind of that area. Dwayne's Pass. James's Creek is going to be here. And then this is going to be a bridge at some point with, I've nicknamed Strongman Bridge, but that's likely going to change. So what that means is basically, initially I was going to go with an all Alco roster. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that. If not, I was going to go with an all Alco roster, and I still might. The plan is to pick up a Bachmann S2 in Action Red. They do not come with sound. They are DCC ready with an 8-pin connector. So the plan is to basically drop a Tsunami sound decoder with the 539 turbo charger in there, and I've purchased some iPhone speakers to try out. I've read a couple posts where people use the iPhone S4 speaker replacement speakers in locomotives because they're small and they have really great sound. So I picked some up for just a couple bucks, barely any shipping. If I break them or they just don't work, I'm out at most 10 bucks. But I'm not too worried. I figure, I'll try them. If they work, great. So that's going to be with the S2. With my GP35, I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do. When I get the S2, I'm going to have 4 Alcos and I'm going to have this single EMD. As you know from me talking and probably from experience, this runs terrible. With the original Bachmann decoder in it, it's very loud. It doesn't work great. So I've read a couple of posts and forums where people actually pick these up for dead cheap, because they are cheap. You can get them for $60, if even, DCC ready, right? And they have a double flywheel. Both trucks are powered and picked up. So what people do is they stick different decoders in them, and that seems to fix the problem. So I think a project that I want to take on is I'm going to install just a 9-pin decoder that I have laying around in it at some point. See if that makes a difference. I'm sure it will, and if the difference is that great, what I'd like to do is I want to make it prototypical. At this point, the headlight is not in the right place. There's a couple of details I'd like to change. So if I can do that, and it's easy enough and I'm happy with it, I will also likely try to fit a sound decoder in it if possible. And I know that a lot of people are gonna not like that, because I know a lot of people are gonna say I can't polish a turd. And I understand, and I know that, but if I can try it and if it works, I will add the detail. I will, it could be a project locomotive, and for the price, you can't really go wrong. We're talking, $60, and then I can get a small sound decoder. So that's $160, which is almost, you're looking at almost Atlas, Athearn quality. But, I already have one, so if it goes well, I will pick up a second one. But that will destroy my Alco-only roster. I do love Alcos. I'm glad I have Alcos. But you know what? If I've got a couple of EMDs in there, or GMDs, should I say, no big deal, I'm pretty happy with if I have 1 or 2 trucking around. I've also considered making that into a powered slug. I've also considered kit bashing it into a hybrid, a bunch of stuff. I've got a bunch of options. So we'll see where that goes, but basically that's it. In the next couple of days, like I said, I want to get the plugs wired up and the bridge wired so that I have a complete loop. Once that happens, I will make another layout update, as well as I want to make those sound reviews and kind of show how they run, because they do run great, but at this point I just don't want to go back and forth. I'd rather wait, get the loop up, and then we can kind of do some action shots, do some reviews, check everything out. So like I said, let me know about my camera control, because I'm really working on that. And at some point I will post, probably next update, I may post the link to the history just to get some opinions. From what I've shown, people seem to like it, it's plausible, but I just don't want to, you know, I want to have fun with it. I don't want the hardcore people coming in and telling me I'm wrong, because, you know, it is a fictional location. So I'm allowed a little bit of artistic license, some freedom, that kind of thing. So basically, I want to get the bridge, and another thing I want to start working on is I'll likely put some road bed on my branch line, not in the spurs, but I haven't quite decided, just because in situations like this, I'm not quite sure. You know, if I have the road bed here, I guess I'll have to have some here and then kind of ramp it down on the spur. I'm not sure. I haven't decided. It's not terrible, you know. When you look at it, I could just make a ramp for the turnouts there. So I'm not quite sure, but I will be making some ramps for the spurs and sidings at some point. No hurry. We're just gluing down some track here so that I can go all the way without it jumbling. What I do in this case is, because I know I'm going to have to put a tortoise machine in my switches, I cut out some of the extra ties so that I can bring these rail joiners all the way over and lift this straight out without worrying, which allows me to glue down this track. Of course, now I can't get it back on with one hand. There we go. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I know it was a 12.5 at this point minute video with me talking the whole time. What's that different from usual? Not much. Basically, another little thing is obviously my wire situation. I've got those lights finally wired to a power bar, as well as the Digitrax. I know it's a mess. I'm gonna tack everything up at some point. I would like to cover the root, you know, whether I just put some yeah. Jeez, that got me again, and now it's on camera. That sucker. Oh my god, that got me an hour ago. It got me an hour ago, and I was like, I'll be done filming by then. But then, like, my 2 other takes got interrupted, and I started working again. It gets me every time. It scares me so bad. So bad. Holy. Well, thanks for watching, guys. With that, I'm gonna let you go. So until next time, thanks for watching. Please let me know if you have any constructive criticism or advice, what you think of everything going on. And until next time, enjoy your bacon.